This is Eagle Owl, and today we gonna talk about it, man. The injury report, what happened with Dallas Goedert. Look like he's trending on being back. Jalen Hurts spoke to the media. Sound like he's taking accountability for what's been going on in the passing game. Also, we're gonna talk about Jordan Mailata, what he had to say about Adam Schefter, him and Lane Johnson, just in general being generational tackles in this league. But let's get straight into it. All right, man. Like I said, we're going to get straight into it. So first, we got to talk about the injury report. We love to start with the injury report. And here we go. So we got Will Shipley, who did not practice at all. I believe they should have put him on IR, but we'll see what happens the following week. Got Jalen Carter. He's starting to appear on the injury report with a shoulder injury, which we knew he had since OTAs, limited. Dallas Goedert with that knee was limited. And Tanner McKee with that thumb was limited as well. But there is like a clip floating around of like Dallas Goedert, stretching with his pads on. But in the background, you do see Tanner McKee throwing the ball, gripping the ball. So it looked like Tanner McKee will be fine. And also, again, Dallas Goedert looked like he will be fine. And like I said, I have a clip of him speaking on his injury. Sound like he heard it during the game. He could have played the second game, but the doctors, held him back. And to be fair, it is week 2, AFC team. If we would have lost that game, it wouldn't have made a big difference because it's not a conference loss or anything like that. But it's always good to get a win column on your side, even from an out of conference team, because 2-0 is just better than being 1-1. But let me play this clip by Dallas Goedert.
Oh, really good. Still taking it day by day, but see how it feels tomorrow.
What happened with the knee? How did that happen?
Yeah, it was on the third down catch early in the second half of Dallas. Caught one over the ball, turned, and took a shot to the outside of the knee, and did what it did.
Did you feel it during that game or just after?
No, I knew it pretty much right away. Finished that drive and then went into blue tent really quick, told him to put a brace on it, and then played the rest. So I tried to convince him to let me play last week, but, they made me listen to the medical professionals.
How tough is it?
So, yeah, it looked like he could have gave it a go, but the doctor was like, nah. So, he was all good. He's all good. It's nothing long-term because when you see knee, you think like, oh, man, this thing could linger, but Dallas Goedert seems to be fine. But before we get into the other topics, we got to shout out the show sponsor, ProfitX. So ProfitX is a new peer-to-peer sports exchange where you could play against other peers and fans instead of the house. That means better lines and even a chance to set your own odds. So you can download the app, put in promo code Eagle Owl and get 1.5% cash back for your first 30 days up to $200. As you see here, I'm on the NFL game. So tonight, got the Thursday game, Dolphins and Bills. I told y'all, man, I will rock with the over on this one. And I will go money line Bills. But different markets, man. You could click here, multiple markets. That's what make this app so different, so dope, man. You can use this over 40 states. You can use this if you have age. Again, just use this app responsibly. I love it. And yeah, man, just different lines. Look, even different point spreads here, different markets. If you're interested, man, again, just download the app, put in promo code Eagle Owl. Let's get back into the video. All right, so let's talk about Jordan Mailata. So Jordan Mailata had a lot to say. He had a lot to say about Adam Schefter, about the tush push, but I took a particular clip because he used a little bit of profanity, and I like it. But let me play this clip.
Mindfulness now that's getting more natural. That you see a guy like Adam Schefter, pointed out. Does it change?
I couldn't give a f- what Adam Schefter said, to be honest. And I ain't the one calling the plays on my team, so I'm just sorry, pardon my language, pardon my French. I'm not calling the plays, and I don't care what Adam Schefter says. Sorry, man.
What about your Australian?
Shout out to Jordan Mailata. Like, I don't give a fuck what Adam Schefter got to say. I'm with that. I'm with that type of talk because, like, what is Adam Schefter talking about that the Chiefs won this game back in March? So did Kelsey drop the ball back in March? So did Patrick Mahomes just completely miss a guy back in March? Any of those things happen back in March? No. Now, did we use the tush push in our advantage? Sure. But that was not the sole reason why they lost. The big difference is they turned the ball over. We did not. That was the big difference. That was the big difference in the Dallas game. They turned the ball over. We did not. So, look, Eagles being responsible. Of course, I want to see more explosive plays. But the tush push, I think, is just something to whine about, something to cry about right now. But speaking of explosive plays, it seemed like we've been talking about this and talking about this. But we really never got the quarterback perspective on what's going on. And Jalen Hurts gave a long answer. I'm going to play the 2-minute clip. Let's go ahead and roll the tape.
From last game, what were some of the takeaways on how the passing game was, maybe why it wasn't where you guys wanted it to be?
Well, I think more importantly, just overall operation and how we function, how we flow, our synchronization. I think that I take accountability for a lot of it and just how we go out there, because it's my job. My job is to go out there and be the general, orchestrate everything, and ultimately make plays. And, given the opportunities we had, I'm very critical of myself of trying to make the most of what's given to us. And so there's definitely some evolution that we can do. There's definitely some things that we can grow in. But I look inward on all of those things and just want to make the most of the opportunities that we do have, And when you're able to do that and you win, when you win and you have a lot to learn from, you can be very critical of yourself on that, and that's something that I've done. So within the things that are within what we do in our system, if you will, just really operating that at a high level and continue to challenge those around me with asking questions and trying to make sure we're all on the same page. So I think that's the most important thing. Again, operation, synchronization, being on the same page, and going out there and playing our game. I think too, a component of it is there's a template, so I think expectations are fair. Ultimately, it's about winning. But when we look at what we're capable of, we know what we're capable of. But given this new season, this new team, offensive leadership looking different, you grow into that, and that's what I mean. So we're confident in where we can go.
I love it. He's taking accountability for what happened, what's going on in the passing game, what it can be better at. I told y'all, I seen some good plays in there, whereas though I felt like Jalen Hurts probably could have got something off, just not enough. Some of the plays were very redundant, as we keep complaining about. Like the first play, I thought that Kevin Patullo drew up was perfect. It was a nice play action. But the coverage, not the coverage, I'm sorry, the blocking assignments just busted because Kyler Grayson or Grant Calcaterra couldn't fucking block. So now you got a dude coming from the backside and the front side. Pause. Jalen Hurts that was a perfect play. That could have been A.J. Brown, one catch for 70 yards and a touchdown. That's how good that play was. But, wide receiver is a very dependent position because you need the blocking assignments right. You need the quarterback to see you, and quarterback got to make the throw in time, and he needed all that to work for A.J. Brown to, get that play. But, things happen. So hopefully we get a little bit more creative with the playbook. And again, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts did take accountability for his part. That's just being a leader. But if I had to put a percentage, I put like 90 Kevin Patullo, maybe 10% Jalen Hurts, because you got a new coordinator and he's trying to figure it out. So when you get those good plays, you got to execute on it. And some of them Jalen Hurts just did not execute on, but it was very minimum. Very minimum plays that, I even looked at like maybe Jalen Hurts could have made that play right there. Maybe it wasn't nothing like really wide open. When you had those plays, the blocking assignments just weren't right. So hopefully we fix that, man. It's week 2 going into week 3. It's a lot we need to fix. You'd rather your team peak in week 11, week 12, not week 2. I mean, ask the Saints. They peaked in week 2 last year, and you know what happened to them. They wasn't even a playoff contending team by week 8, week 9. So, we'll get these things together. We'll definitely get these things together, man. Let's get back to Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson. Well, I believe they just on a generational run. Here goes some crazy stats by these two guys. First, let's talk Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson has allowed 0 sacks and 0 QB hits and 62 pass blocking snaps in 2025. Since 2021, Johnson ranked first amongst NFL tackles with a 0.4% knockdown percentage, allowing just 3 sacks and 4 QB hits over the last 5 years. So Lane Johnson is on a generational run right now. And then Jordan Mailata right now is just owning PFF. His grade is a 91.4 amongst NFL offensive tackles this season. So he's the highest graded guy. You got another guy who's just not allowing sacks, not allowing any of these defensive ends beat them. The reason why I'm mentioning this stats, because they got a big matchup and a lot of people not talking about, is Byron Young versus Lane Johnson. Byron Young, the Rams, Byron Young, his win rate has been around the 40, close to 50-ish range. So he's been beating a lot of these tackles, and we know what Verse is. So Verse is going to be going up against Lane Johnson, who's right now the highest graded left tackle, well, highest graded tackle in general. Then you got another guy who just been beating the tackles. Then you got these 2 guys that been blocking who've been winning their battles. We need our guys to win their battles, because if they start getting pressure, it can make things very difficult. Even though this is a team we should be able to run on, they didn't make too much of a difference on their defensive line. I believe we could still take advantage of their smaller defensive line, those fast edge guys, by running the ball. I do want us to get the passing game going. I believe they're going to load up the box, and let's see how Kevin Patullo adjusts, because a lot of these teams been loading up the box. Kevin Patullo's just been like, I don't give a F. I'm going to just still run up the middle, gain this 1 yard. No, be creative, pitch it to the outside, or hell, throw the ball, play action, bootlegs, do something to offset those loaded boxes, because that's what they're going to come with. They're going to blitz a lot. They're going to try to do what Kansas City did, because Kansas City almost won with that method. It just didn't work. So we're going to see the same thing. There's going to be a lot of zone and barely any man. And then when they want to do that blitz or whatever, it's probably going to be a zone blitz. We have to be prepared for this, man. Simple as that. But again, those 2 guys versus those other 2 guys, our guys, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata versus Verse and Byron Young, it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. Some very great football. That's all I got for you guys today. Hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel? Jalen Hurts taking accountability for what's been going on. I love it. Also, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata on a historic run. Dallas Goedert, man. Great to be back. But this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm out.